I had intended to start this video with a Dear Kotaku and format it like I'm reading a letter, but all I could come up with was, Dear Kotaku, you. Kotaku has been the Conrad Bain capital of my existence for some time. They're the masters of infusing the fun of gaming culture with the bullshit of politics and ruining it for everyone. They're one of the reasons Gamergate happened. They're the progenitor of SJW politics and geek culture. Simply put, they're trash. Not all gaming sites are created equal. A gaming site doesn't need to end their reviews with a numerical score or have Pope Jeff Keighley bless their Mountain Dew to be reputable. But they, gaming sites, pronouns pal, shouldn't end reviews by making their audience feel like a bad person for buying a video game console. Kotaku did just that. The last few weeks have been very special. The launch of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are officially here. By the way, we have the official WCBS Xbox Series X, so sub to WCBS Gaming on Twitch and check out all the new next-gen console goodness. But the consoles are here and the excitement is high for both, so of course Kotaku takes it upon themselves to Amber Heard the fun and do this. Kotaku shames fans excited for PlayStation 5 with existence of real-world issues. In an attempt to shame players excited for the upcoming release of the PlayStation 5, Kotaku concluded their review of the new console by asserting that there is an irrefutable level of privilege attached to the ability to simply tune out the world as it burns around you. Published on November 6th, Kotaku's review of the PlayStation 5, written by staff writer Ian Walker, is mostly a standard review of the console's new technological and functional offerings, such as its imposing figure with a bulbous shell protecting its hefty bulk, how smooth the PlayStation 5's user interface is, and the benefits of the SSD's quick loading. In many ways, the PlayStation 5 feels like a more significant upgrade from the PlayStation 4 than the PlayStation 4 did coming from the PlayStation 3, especially for someone like me who's never splurged on PlayStation 4 Pro, Walker said as he began the review. However, Walker's review soon takes a turn to the bizarre, as Walker concluded his piece with a lengthy diatribe arguing the various real-world political and social conflicts where all the reasons not to be excited for the PlayStation 5. Issues cited by Walker as reasons for players should not be excited for the next-gen system include the weight of the COVID-19 pandemic, how more Americans out of work right now than any point in the country's history, and the inherently evil institution that is the United States healthcare system. It appears Walker's biggest gripe is with the recent presidential election. Walker argued that it's clear that the worst people aren't going away just because a new old white man is sitting behind the resolute desk. He opined that our government is fundamentally broken in a way that necessitates radical change rather than incremental electoralism. Walker then opted to shame and criticize those excited for the PS5, stating that the harsh truth is that, for the reasons listed above and more, a lot of people simply won't be able to buy a PlayStation 5, regardless of supply. He also dismissively warned that concerns over increasing austerity in the United States and the growing threat of widespread political violence supersede any enthusiasm about the console's SSD or how ray tracing makes the reflections more realistic. Many of his criticisms are a form of projection, as he acknowledges that video games can be an escape and how it feels great to lose yourself in a fictional world where you can fix everything. However, he also asserts that he has found it increasingly difficult to focus on video games amid our current situation. You gotta love the fun police. You know, it's shit like this that makes me upset about last Tuesday's outcome. The asteroid missed us. We've covered doing well by doing good, which is to achieve social acceptance or a financial success as a result of behaving in a benevolent or charitable manner. Being a dick to excited consumers isn't helping the world or changing it. It just makes it easier to look to other gaming sites, like WCBS Gaming. I can't find a reason why this writer, Ian Walker, I can't figure out why he is so mad. Ian's dickishness and inappropriate lecturing is nothing new from this publication, with articles on such rousing topics as Kotaku comes out as anti-American, attacks US military, and describes recruitment as an inherently predatory act. Kotaku blames the underlying current of bigotry among gamers as a cause for recent departure of Xbox Brazil host. Kotaku claims Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War trailer promotes a far-right conspiracy theory. Kotaku editor-in-chief Chris Kohler gets roasted after whining about Final Fantasy VII's remake difficulty. Kotaku spreads hateful tweets in an attempt to spark whitewashing controversy around Bia's latest Pokemon Twilight Wings appearance. I don't even know what that means after the words whitewashing controversy, but it's got Kotaku at the beginning, so you know it sucks. But this PlayStation 5 review is the one that made me want to open the floodgates and talk about Kotaku. Kotaku is the first website I recall being out of place with random political rhetoric. What I mean by that is, I'd be in the middle of an article about Grand Theft Auto 5, and all of a sudden, as I'm reading about how big the map will be, I get bombarded with 6 paragraphs telling me how terrible it is for these digital prostitutes and the struggle of the real-life ones. Sesame Street wrote a song called One of These Things, which goes, "One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell me which one of these things is not like the others by the time I finish this song?" Yes. Yes, I can. The Foo Fighters wrote a song called The Pretender, which goes, "What if I say I'm not like the others? What if I say I'm not just another one of your plays? You're the pretender. What if I say I'll never surrender?" What a great song! Outside of using this video as an excuse to admit I mixed up the lyrics of these two countless times, Kotaku isn't like the others. It's the pretender. It just doesn't belong. Call me old-fashioned since I don't like my video game coverage with a side of white guilt, even though I'm not white, but thinly veiled politics in the guise of gaming just doesn't do it for me. When I sit down to catch up on the newest news in gaming, I'd rather read about teraflops and ray tracing instead of right-wing conspiracies or whitewashing. See what I mean about a pretender? Kotaku has been trash for the better part of a decade, but it's dangerous trash. Sites with ideals first like Kotaku are dangerous because they influence others with their stupidity. You ever wonder why entertainment sucks these days? It's not just because you're an old man yelling at a cloud. You're a rational individual. It's this website that's out of touch. Let me put it like this. Kotaku created the environment that allowed The Last of Us 2 to happen. For people like Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian to ruin everything they touch. They haven't added anything positive to the gaming review landscape. As I said earlier, Kotaku is the progenitor, i.e. origin, of the SJW politics and entertainment. I hate that acronym. But anyone got anything better? Let me know in the comments. Kotaku did it first and they did it best. Well, best is subjective. By best, I mean they royally fucked entertainment. I often wonder how things get so terrible and try to figure it out. So I did some research. Okay, Google, why does Kotaku suck? Man, people don't like Kotaku, and rightly so. They're the absolute worst website for gaming. During my research for this video, I looked for who owns Kotaku. That's the trick. You can easily see who owns all these bullshit websites like Kotaku, Screen Rant, CBR, etc., and learn why they're the way they are. When researching Kotaku, I read their Wikipedia page. They're owned by GeoMedia, which was formed last year. But here's all the sites they own. Kotaku has had a history of interesting owners, such as Univision. Because of course, when I think of video game content, I think of Univision. Espera un segundo, no yo, no. But then again, I don't think of Kotaku when I think of video games either. So, Kotaku's previous owner was Gawker Media. Gawker Media went out of business because they illegally published the Hulk Hogan sex tape. He sued them, and he won. It was Hulk Hogan's second greatest victory after toppling Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Kotaku also has the distinction of being the only video game website that had a controversy section on their Wikipedia page. Of course, that's not indicative of anything, so I looked a little further and found an entire website dedicated to why Kotaku sucks. Let's take a look. Rotten Websites Wiki, Kotaku. I just beat that boss on my first try. The state of game journalism is an absolute joke. Kotaku, IGN, Nerdist, all these trash sites are filled with garbage cancel culture people. I can't wait for them all to fold. Yellow Flash on the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. So let's just look at this real quick before we go, as a way to say goodbye to Kotaku. Hopefully they see this video and they just go away as well. One can dream. Why it's rotten. Kotaku is more of a legitimate trolling site under the guise of a gaming news outlet. Some of their posts have nothing to do with either gaming or nerd culture. More frequently, one can see random/irrelevant videos, cosplayer galleries, inside jokes, and discussions about the editor's personal lives. One journalist was so jealous of Aloy's look in Horizon Zero Dawn, she wrote an entire article praising her. They have a lot of clickbait articles. Editor Luke Plunkett was said to have reposted the same article on Project Cars over 6 times. Former writer Patricia Hernandez is perhaps the worst offender of all. See gallery below. The site is known for having random ban days where they ban people for fun. Sometimes they even put bans on accounts for no apparent reason. Much like every other Gawker-related site, their articles have inappropriate content and lots of foul language, as well as misinformation. They're known to be very corrupt. Nathan Grayson, one of Kotaku's writers, has positively covered Zoe Quinn in 3 of his articles without disclosing his friendship and eventual affair with her. Although it's not completely clear that Quinn entered an affair with him to get positive coverage in the first place, Grayson's act is still dishonest and apparently corrupt. Kate Gray, due to her far-left feminist views, hid an entire section of Jordan Peterson's book and replaced them with feminist books without permission of the bookstore. Former senior writer Patricia Hernandez wrote about her roommate Anna Atrophy 6 times without giving disclosure until much later. Luke Plunkett criticized detractors of the Call of Duty series by calling them idiots, obnoxious elitists, and assholes, while his site was running an extensive Call of Duty advertising campaign. He was even insulted by Hideki Kamiya from Platinum Games for an article they wrote on him and other Japanese developers on PC gaming, to the point they had to update their article and apologize for misinformation and misrepresenting him and his fellow Japanese developers. Maddie Myers, one of the most notable writers, blames Street Fighter for keeping her sexuality in the closet. The site disables comments for some of its articles. It's also known to start rumors and spread false information, which is why many companies like Bethesda Softworks, Sony, and Ubisoft have blacklisted it. Bethesda was so concerned about protecting its information of Fallout 76 that they gave Kotaku false information, and because Bethesda, being against corrupt journalism, they made Kotaku look like idiots online. There's another story of when Kotaku published a fake story of a group of transgender women being blocked out of an online gaming tournament, and when this was revealed to be fake, they had to apologize for this story. When Wolfenstein Youngblood was released to negative reception, Kotaku claimed a Wolfenstein developer was harassed on Twitter over microtransaction and forced to private his account. He received 2 negative tweets in total, from both the same person, both of which accused him of lying over a false tweet. Many other articles are thinly veiled attempts to push social justice and third-wave feminism ideology, and sometimes they'll even take it a step further. They slut-shamed and body-shamed attractive female characters in Soul Calibur 6 due to their looks. After Cyberpunk 2077 made a joke mocking social justice warriors, Kotaku tried to get Cyberpunk 2077 social media Kotaku tried to get the Cyberpunk 2077 social media manager fired. Wow. They defend fake news, and they even supported the Antifa assault against a journalist. They defended Alan Powell after she was called out by Redditor users for her abuse of authority and enforcement of censorship policies. They helped cover up NeoGAF's massive sex scandal. They additionally bought stolen user information from them. They accused the Final Fantasy VII Remake of racism because Barrett's personality, claiming it to be overly stereotypical, despite it being a positive portrayal of African American characters. They are very anti-Trump, and they try to connect him to Gamergate and claim Gamergate is tied to white supremacy. Like Jezebel, they managed to find anything racist or sexist, such as players leaving joke messages in Dark Souls. Kotaku was owned by Gawker. For more information, see the respective page. They defended Twitch streamer Alinti for spitting vodka in her cat's mouth. They tried to discredit the people calling her out on the action. They sometimes bash various game developers or consoles for no good reasons. They called releasing video games on the Nintendo 3DS a waste of time, even though there are still 3DS games in development, and there are a variety of great games on the 3DS library, such as Persona Q2. They also attacked ArtPlay for listening to players' feedback to help improve the game. This is a mentality shared by many game journalists nowadays who believe that developers should do whatever they want instead of bowing down to the demands of entitled fans. The review of the PlayStation 5, which we've already covered. Like many modern game journalists, Kotaku dislikes difficult or challenging games for the mere reason that it takes time to complete them, which means they cannot produce as many low-quality articles that are normal as they normally can with easier games to reap ad revenue. They really hate it when games like Devil May Cry 5 are successful and they're called the holy grail of trash, and they push hard games like the Souls genre to have easy modes. Another series Kotaku bash is the Castlevania series and the Metroidvania genre in general for being challenging and not being inclusive or diverse enough. What the fuck? Similar device when they bashed Waluigi, they bashed Pikachu for being one of the ambassadors to help promote Osaka in Japan. Hypocritically, Kotaku prevents archiving sites from archiving their articles, but uses the Wayback Machine when reporting some of their articles. Oddly, despite their name and focus on otaku interest in Japanese-related subjects, they tend to bash JRPGs and a lot mock anime for having cute girls in the name of social justice. They even support anti-consumer practices like microtransactions and loot boxes. They have even insulted YouTube post-2013, who are against microtransactions in gaming. In a desperate attempt to stay relevant, Kotaku has adopted an irrational habit of stirring up controversy just for the sake of controversy. A recent example is when contributor Laura Kate Dale falsely accused the song Wake Up, Get Out There from the Persona 5 DLC and Super Smash Bros. For allegedly using the word retarded even though it was not there at all. It's supposed to be retorted, and if you put retarded into the context of the lyrics, you'll find that it makes little to no sense. Despite getting a response from a Nintendo representative, and the song already being in Persona 5 itself almost 3 years prior, this led to massive criticism against them, especially from the Persona 5 voice actor Erica Hartlacker and Erica Lindback. Fans also accused Kotaku of racism for insulting the Japanese and their accent. To add insult to injury, Kotaku put up an apology article. Despite this, however, they didn't change the title of the original article whatsoever. They also try to stranglehold publishers like Cube into censoring their games. They defend the Chinese censorship in Hearthstone as a good thing. They are also anti-American, having written an article attacking the US military. Now, if we go down to the trivia section, the first one means very little to me, but the second one is fun. They were one time invited to an event to showcase the gameplay of Prey, but the hosts found out that the invitation was an accident and they were quickly barred from entering the event, considering that they were blacklisted. Only Kotaku, folks. And by the way, if you want more Kotaku, you can go to Reddit and look up Kotaku in action. It's a subreddit infamous for making fun of anything rotten in Kotaku. Clearly, there's a lot of rotten in Kotaku, so go there and have some fun. So if that doesn't put everything into perspective, nothing will. By the way, when you Google Kotaku, outside of the link to the website, there is nothing positive. This popped up when I was making the title card. At the end of the day, I am thankful that people realize what trash Kotaku is, and I'm thankful that history will not be kind to this website. Initially, I wanted to write a letter discussing my displeasure for Kotaku's article, but I couldn't find the words. Now, I found them.
Dear Ian, I read your work on Kotaku. It was bad. All I could muster was a fuck you.
I'm stopping right there because I don't want to make Eminem mad, and Eminem's a dangerous enemy to have. But if you're interested in my rap career, check out our album Party Boob, coming soon to a media play near you. If you're interested in looking for a good rabbit hole to go down, look up Kotaku's past transgressions. They suck worse than I've conveyed in this video. One final thing before I go. Kotaku's existence has allowed a terrible game like Marvel's Avengers to get made, and we'll be talking about that massive failure next time. So, what do you guys think about Kotaku? I think they're trash. I've made that very clear, but I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. But they're one of those websites that I can't believe I ever visited in the past, and they're one of those websites that I think everyone should know exactly what goes down. Now, this isn't a smear campaign, this isn't targeting individuals, this isn't harassing people online. This is a website with bad business practices. You know, we don't have an issue with Enron being gone because of all the shit they pulled. Well, you know what? You shouldn't have an issue with Kotaku. They want to invade people's privacy. They want to sell your personal data. They want to make up false claims about video games. I mean, find a positive. Unless you believe exactly what they believe politically, there is no way you can make excuses for the shit Kotaku pulls. So, that is why people feel the way they do about them. That's why I made the video that I made. But come back next time. I am so ready to talk about Marvel's Avengers. Today's video was supposed to be out on Monday, but I had some stuff I had to take care of, so it's out today. We will have our video on Marvel's Avengers, the modern day ET. So if you're ready for that, well, let's be honest, nobody is. Nobody expects a game to come out and become the new standard in trash. So I'm gonna stop now, because I'm going to go off on a tangent that I cannot stop. So folks, I'll be back next time with more. Make sure that you guys join us tomorrow night. Make sure you guys join us tonight on the High Council. We'll be making a very special announcement about a super secret Fandom Menace project that I've been working on with Anna, that Star Wars girl, and you don't want to miss out because there's a day one exclusive that has something to do with the OG High Council, so you don't want to miss out on that information. But we'll be back next time with more, folks. So thank you for watching. Thank you for everything you guys do. Spread the word. Share us all over social media. One share does a lot more than you realize. Your voice holds a lot of power. So spread the word, world-class bullshitters. But I'll be back next time with more, folks. So thank you for watching. But always be excellent to each other.